This is Jack Johnson, or as all you know him as, Demi-Fiend, Naoki Kashima, Hiroshura. How long will you keep these viewers waiting? My apologies. Forgot to mention that he's cocky, arrogant, and to an extent, battle-hungry. You dare speak ill of me? Right in front of me? Dude, you're not that smart. Say something like that again, and not even Yuko Takao will be able to bring you back. Jeez, man. Anyways, here's the recap. The protagonist, Jack Johnson, encounters a series of events after meeting Yuko Takao. Afterwards, a chain of occurrences leads Jack to uncover a group called the Gaia Cult, aiming to cause chaos and destruction. Yuko discloses her role in a plan to create a new world and grants Jack the power of a demon to navigate through a post-apocalyptic setting triggered by an event known as the Conception. Guided by a mysterious voice and meeting Hidri again, Jack learns about the significance of the Conception and begins a journey empowered with newfound abilities, setting the stage for the next part of the adventure. While walking around the basement of the hospital, we found a healing room, and in my last video I put a "if you know, you know" because I wasn't really too sure if I could show it, but now after seeing that, I'm sure we'll be getting into some interesting stuff. After pointlessly healing up, we head through the elevator and somehow end in a strange place. Suddenly, two people appear and tell us to show them my power, and disappear right after. We then continue forward and encounter our first fight. I want 8.
Me 8.
I gotta mention this, but man, this music sounds very familiar. Oh, sorry, I meant, Jack, are you alright? Tiz didn't even make a scratch. What? What? Yo, use talk no jutsu to win this guy over. Sure, I can do some conversation. Listen, man, sometimes in life, you just gotta eat your chicken and cheese, and I'm here for you if you need any fellow support. Bruh, I just want to scrap. Oh, alright then, bring it. Huh, you missed. Equal rights, equal lefts. After winning, Jack leveled up and got his health back. We then went through another tunnel, and the same people from earlier appeared, telling us to keep going. We then entered a room, and once again, see the same people. You did quite nicely for someone who kept getting into fights. What can I say? I like to cause a little tomfoolery, even if it felt like every step was just an enemy encounter.
That's nice. Anyway, we shall meet again.
That's it? Yup. I just wanted to tell you something you already know. Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you for wasting our time with telling us absolutely nothing except your validation on his strength. After getting teleported back to the basement, we headed to the terminal and saved the game because now we can venture forth more into the hospital. To take this step by step for Jack, we headed to the elevator and I decided that we should go to the first floor. Once we made it, Jack asked some questions to the souls, and one of them said that there's an annex building and we can use the entrance. Upon more searching, a soul told me that there is a security system and that I will need to find an annex gate pass to get through. At last, we finally found the annex building, but just up ahead, there's a little fairy named Pixie who's in search of something.
Hi, are you looking for a reason why Atlas hasn't made me the mascot because I've literally been your first if not second companion in all of the SMT related games?
Sure.
Cool. Well, truthfully I need someone who could take me to the park. You're ugly, dumb, and ugly again, and I don't know how you have a friend.
Well, actually. Well, of course. So out of character.
Coolio, if we can get that pass thingy, then we can get through the door.
Naturally, because this is Atlas, she joins our party and tells us that there are some enemies who have the card. So, of course, we go out to seek them. We then hear some noises behind the door, and thanks to Pixie, she was able to communicate with the enemies. And so, we barged in, demanding they give us the pass thingy, but they said, no way! So we get jumped, and jump scared, and we head into battle.
Ouch!
Alrighty then. Red 42, set hut.
Here is some shocking news.
To you, Pixie.
Yeah!
Finally, we got the pass.
So, credit what credit is due, you're pretty strong.
Tell me something I don't know. But you weren't bad yourself. I might even say pretty.
Really?
Yeah. Anyways, we make it back to the walkway and use the gate pass to get through. We get told by a soul that there's a much stronger enemy ahead, so to prepare, we get into a quick battle and win. Obviously I'd win. We head inside the lobby and a soul tells us that there's a demon that's swimming around the lobby. For me, it's from the Persona series, but that's a topic we'll be talking about for another video. This clip isn't as important, but I love that Pixie tells me to talk to more enemies. Said enemy says he doesn't understand and she can't speak to him, but literally spoke to the same enemy earlier. We fought these two Kodamas, and one of the Kodamas then asks to drain her strength and says that it wasn't enough. Then, after the second time, he complies, and now we have a new member, Kodama. We head down to the basement, get in a fight, and realize that these bars have doors and brand new bags. Off the edges. Some more exploring later and we get told where the park is, though it won't be much help since we're stuck here until we beat the boss. During our grind, we try to talk to a Shikigami who wants to drain our energy, and liking the taste, he joins our party. If I had a nickel for a party member wanting to drink my strength, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that's happened twice. Jack, stay alert. The enemies could be anywhere nearby. Oh, please. I'm always alert. Oh my god. After 1 million footsteps later, we get jumped again. Jack then talks to Apo, who asks for Maka, which I can only guess money. So, he gives her the money, but then she keeps asking for more. Thankfully, Kodama stepped in with his passive ability, Connection, and so Huapo joins our party. After healing up and finding a save point, we headed through the elevator to confront the so-called big and bad Fornius. Hey bub, what are you doing in my domain? Using an expansion jutsu? What? Look, I just want to leave this place. So if you could just walk on by so my crew and I won't have to hurt you. In case you don't know, I run these spots around here. To put it in simple terms for you, you ain't leaving here. You talk big for someone who's supposed to put the sting in Stingray. That was actually a good one, Jack. Well, that's it. I was gonna let you leave, but now I'm have to ice you. Meaning? It's time for you to die. This will be my first attack. Why did you think that would work? Anyways, we hit Fornius with Zeo that causes shock, thankfully, and then chained it up with Pixie to use Racunda, which lowered its defense. And we hit it with 2 crits in a row, and then he used Bufu. That actually hurts, you know? He has more eyes for you.
You're done.
Hey, just chill it out, okay? Shikigami delivers the final blow, and that is the end of Fornius. Afterwards, we get a Magatama called Watatsumi, and then we try to heal up, but sadly, since the doors are closed, we chose to head outside. Outside of the hospital, we get confronted by an old woman and a short child who they congratulate us for living, and telling us that Tokyo has become a circular world. Up in the sky, there's a being called Katsuchi who created this vortex world, and is also the one who gives these people in this world power. As soon as the duo is about to leave off, they tell us that what we do in this world is up to Jack. After the pan away, it shows a man in red clothing and oh my goodness, is that Dante from the Devil May Cry series? It's the meme. We then left the hospital, get told where the park is, and then arrived there shortly.
Haha, we finally made it here, so I guess this will be goodbye?
Hopefully not.
But we're already here, or are you saying you want to stay together?
You've kept me some company. I don't see why we depart here.
That's more like it. Alright, you win. I'll stay a little longer.
Jack, Shut it. Anyways, we explored more of the park, chatted with the locals, and found this strange place called the Fountain of Life. The lady in charge is named Lady of the Fount, and she tells us that she'll heal us up for a fee. And since we really haven't been using our money, we'll just go ahead and heal up. Before leaving, she warns us to not let the Magatama to continuously mutate, as it will eventually lead a curse and a burden onto us. Though it has been healing us, we should still watch out for that. After exploring, we decided to head out and made our way downwards to go to Shibuya. I learned after speaking around that basically this is just a shopping district where we can buy items and things that can be very helpful.
Hey, Light, where is that Fornius? Jack, you want to tell him or?
What he doesn't know won't hurt him, right? So then we start heading down to the underground mall and explore a few empty doors. And we stumble upon Nekomata, who rams Pixie, thus fainting her. Pixie! Oh, you'll pay for that. Indeed she will. Kodama!
Already on it. Get down!
Mitsuru's move actually worked? Alright, my fellows, keep throwing attacks. Keep in mind, guys, Huapo is entranced. She might do something unpredictable.
Jack, to you, use talk no jutsu.
Fine. Hey, it doesn't have to be this way. you can still turn yourself around.
I really don't care. And your little fairy was super weak.
Never mind, Nin. She's dead. Come on, Huapo, snap out of it. Nice dodge, Kodama. Kodama, Jack needs a helping hand.
You got it. Get down.
Glad he knows who to give it to. All right, time to give it all I got.
You're done.
No. Take you higher. And since we didn't save the game, we had to do everything all over again. And I'm not talking about fighting Fornius again. I mean going to the park and having to grind back up again. We then make it back to Shibuya, learned the currency is Maka, found another Fountain of Life, brought some items for Mr. Hiho himself, and then found this place called the Cathedral Shadows. And here, this is where I can fuse my little buddies to make different, newer buddies. And here is whenever I realized that they used the Persona 3 method of fusing, meaning that you have to select the shadows, or demons in this case, and then deselect them and then reselect them so you can see what skill that you'll get in the end. Thankfully, they had changed this around Persona 4 to Persona 5, because in Persona 3, it was very annoying. I then chose to fuse Kodama and Shikigami to then make the Mr. Hiho himself. After finding a save point, thankfully, we then get told about a club and decide to head forward to find it. We arrive at the club, and it is no one other than Chiaki Teriyaki, who tells us that after seeing what she saw, she barely has any emotion left or questions on how she should feel. We then tell her that the conception from the article that she read actually had happened, and that we need to put a stop to this. Clinging on to hope, Chiaki tells us that Isamu and our teacher should still be alive. Soon after that, Nekomata wants a round 2, and so we decide to give it to her. Nice bufu, Mr. H. Not this time. You're done. After beating her with relative ease, she then tells us there's an organization called the Assembly of Nihilo and doesn't elaborate further. However, the locals tell us that it's these people who want to see the new world. We then head back to save our game and see my man Hijiri, the guy who gave us the magazine. He then tells us that he used the totem, which is called the Amala Network, which basically lets us teleport from places using the totem checkpoints. He then suggests that we should team up so we can find Hikua, because he thinks the group and the Ginza are connected to that man. He then tells us that he'll wait here and warns us that we should stock up because we don't know what the Ginza will have in store for us. And with that being said, this is where we'll stop for today. Alright fellows, if you like this, then subscribe so you can get more stuff like this. And with that being said, beware and take care.